doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I want to start by saying nothing to do with Iron Fist. Absolutely loved Luke Cage season 2.
Thank you.
I loved it. I don't want to say. I will just say, for people that liked the first season, I loved the second season.
Good.
I will say it like that.
I'm glad. Much like every show within the Marvel Universe, we come back trying to do better than we did before. And I feel like Cheo and everybody on the team really wanted to do the same. So I definitely came in wanting to kick more butt.
Right.
That was just a personal request of mine.
Yeah. I think that, we are going to get to Iron Fist, but the second season for me was the promise of the first season came through in the second season.
Yeah.
I'll say it like that.
Yeah, it's difficult, especially within the comic book realm. You have fans who've been waiting to see these shows for sometimes 40 years. And for my character, I think she was created 44 years ago or something crazy like that. So you've got people who've been waiting a lifetime to see these characters come on screen. And when they do, they want to see them in whichever iteration they fell in love with them at. So I think it's hard for the Marvel creators because they want to tell the origin story. They want to get you started from the beginning and then carry you through the end. So there are people who've been watching Misty Knight grow over the course of 4 seasons who've been waiting to see this arm, for example, and they finally got it. But then it's still growing. It's still more to come. And so I think that, people just have to be patient and trust that, if we do something in the first season, the second season is going to be bigger and better.
Completely. Now let's jump into why I get to talk to the two of you today, which is Iron Fist.
Yes.
So you announced yesterday when the show is going to... Basically, yesterday was like this big announcement where... How early on did the two of you know yesterday was going to be the day it all came out? All the info. Or did you find out yesterday morning?
Yesterday.
Yeah, I think I divorced my interest with info from the moment I signed on and kind of just rolled with the punches. I think sort of seeking information is spurious. Google it.
Right. Well, talk a little bit about... Let's jump into your character. Yesterday, it came out that it's Typhoid Mary. In the comics, there are a few different ways this character can be played. How much are you allowed to say about maybe which version of your character we will see on the show?
Well, I played her my way.
Right, of course.
Which, obviously with Raven and Jeff's input and creative overseeing. But I definitely, as an actor, you're given material and you invent it in your mind and in your body. And you kind of spend time with it almost by osmosis. It becomes you. So I couldn't have played her any other way than I played her, but of course I read the comics diligently and loved them and loved her ferocity and loved her response to life being violence, which I completely understand, although you wouldn't know it. But I do feel those things that she feels sometimes, and so I understood those violent tendencies she has.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, in the comic, telekinesis. Yeah, English is my second language. There could be a relation to the Kingpin.
That's actually Greek, so you're all right.
See? Back me. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Fine.
But also, she has a relationship to Kingpin in the comics. But what I'm saying is, long history with the character, there's a lot to work with. So how much, I guess, can you tease anything for these kind of things?
Yeah, I'll get shot. But that's okay.
You can pretend I'm Jeff.
Yeah, okay, yeah, do that.
I got you.
That will help. What I can tease is that the character starts very innocent, and the thing about having DID is it's a way of protecting yourself from a trauma reaction. And, it's not cognitive. You don't consciously do it, but the subconscious kind of comes to your rescue and creates a stronger alter ego or alter personality or whatever the correct phraseology is if you're not happy with those, that protects the more innocent one. And that was the journey of unfolding like an onion, to quote Love Island. So that kind of definitely was my process, was finding the levels of innocence in the character that needed to be protected, that would then give birth to another alter that would come out of the need for protection for that person, and the levels and the depths of pain and tragedy that leads you to inside, and trauma.
I have to say the first day that I came to the table read, Alice is dressed in character, which is kind of dark. But we're doing the table read, and what comes out, I was like, what the hell is going on? Because you imagine this like very aggressive, hard kind of a persona to come out at the table, and it's this innocent, almost as you've called it, virginal character that speaks out of her voice. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to see where this goes. Like, I don't even know what's happening because they don't tell us anything. So I show up and I was like, oh, this is going to be good. And watching her explore these personalities on set was a lot of fun as an actor. You're looking
Also
at this
a nightmare,
person.
I think it was.
No, I mean, but as an actor, you want to come and play with someone who is deeply invested. And Alice absolutely brought that. And that's something that I think is an immense gift to this show, this second season. You have two villains. You can't really call them villains,
Sure.
you know, but you've got Alice playing Mary Walker, and then you've got Davos played by Sasha, and there are these two people who really came to these roles with an immense intensity that I think that the fans are just going to go crazy for.
I think of the movie that James McAvoy did, Split, where he had to do like this multiple personalities and sometimes in the same shot. Was it ever like that, or did you actually get to take a break? Do you know what I mean? Like it was one person. I can see which. Do you know what I mean?
No breaks.
No break.
No days off.
No.
Right. So is it one of these things where you have to play multiples in the same scene?
Yes.
And so as an actor, though, that has to be awesome.
It's just beyond awesome.
Yeah.
It's the greatest thing ever. Because
Right.
it's like what acting is, right?
Completely.
Yeah.
When you think back on the making of the show in season 2, or the show this season, what's the day you always remember?
I mean, it's 205, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we did 205 twice.
We did it twice. We shot this crazy fight scene with Colleen and Misty and Mary, and then Jeff Loeb saw it and said to Raven, "Do you think you could make it better?" And Raven's like, "I guess I can." And so
So we went
that
back
was
to
the
that.
last day, the last shots of the last on the series. We came back and we shot that over, and it
Fighting
was
all night, yeah. to
it
end
was
the show.
crazy.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
crazy.
crazy.
I now cannot wait to see 205.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. What surprised you about getting involved in the show in terms of maybe the way it's shot or just like the making of the show? Because you've obviously worked on a few of these things now. You kind of know what you're getting yourself into. But for you, was there...
You know, the truth, the experience of making a film and being on set is universal. You know, if you've done it once, it's all variables from there. But for me, it was the winter. It was a real winter. It was the night shoots, and it was the sub basements that we shot in. So there were a lot of challenges in that way. You know, down in a kind of super damp basement in the winter and the night, you meet your strength.
I understand. You're
It's
saying it
fighting.
was a little cold, you're saying.
Yeah, it was cold. It was late. We were tired. We were fighting all night. You know, that was a unique experience. Fighting all night for me was a unique experience. But with those variables added, that was a lot of endurance required.
Yeah, you know, I think for me, although this is my 4th iteration of playing Misty, what is different about this show are the fights. You know, we have Clayton Barber as our stunt coordinator, who is popular from Creed and from Black Panther, and he brought his ridiculous amount of expertise to the set. And so he wanted to make it like a punk rock song. And he is a lover of Kung Fu, and he wanted it to feel like you're watching Jackie Chan in the style of fighting, which I don't think that we saw in season 1 of Iron Fist. It was a different style of fighting. And so that kind of ramped up intensity most certainly came into the fight scene. So there's this fight scene that I have in one of the last episodes with another character, and it was so intense. It was like everything that I had done in Luke season 1 times 10, which, as you know, as an actor, as an athlete, as somebody who looks forward to being physical, it was like, oh, now I can push my body to this limit. And so you didn't realize it while you were in it. You just put your head down and you do it. But when you see it on screen, they showed it. They literally, Raven and Clayton showed it to me on their phone. They're like, oh, you got to see the fight with Misty. And I was like, I really don't want to see it right now. But they showed me. And it was, you have this feeling of pride of like, wow, I did that. Because the other thing with Clayton is that he didn't want to use doubles a lot. And so when you see Alice fighting, it's Alice fighting. When you see Colleen, it's Jess. When you see Danny, it is Finn. And so the use of our doubles was as minimal as it could possibly be, and to keep us safe and able to work. I mean, she ended up in hospital, which was something we're not supposed to talk about. But I'm spilling the beans.
Tea.
Right, I understand. There's so much I want to ask about that, but I'll leave it alone for now. Before I run out of time with you, I want to go through, I've been asking everyone who's been coming through some fun questions. I want to breeze through some of these with you guys, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
What TV show would you love to do a guest spot on?
Atlanta.
Interesting.
It's the best show.
Game of Thrones.
Does it still happen?
Yeah.
Well,
They just
They just wrapped on the final
Well,
season.
I know, but
Sorry.
come
sorry.
on. Let a girl dream.
I was going to say, do you have a favorite sci-fi or fantasy film? And Star Trek doesn't count.
Cocoon.
Cocoon will count.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that one.
I don't know if this counts, but The Never-Ending Story
Yeah.
was
That
my
counts.
jam.
That
It
counts.
was my
Yes,
jam.
completely. What film scared you as a kid?
Oh God, The Nightmare Before Christmas, I cried and left.
Oh, really?
That's why the basements were a lot for me. I
Oh
think.
no,
Yeah.
It. And the It clown was walking around the floor yesterday, and Jessica is like, look, and I was like, what? And I saw it, and I was like, why would you point that out to me?
There's an
Terrified.
amazing maquette, like a toy maquette thing, where it's like a lifelike. I have it on my phone of Pennywise, and I literally said there is no chance that goes in my place.
No.
None.
No.
I would freak out
It
if I
could
saw
come
that.
back alive.
Absolutely.
Like a spirit could envelop it.
Oh no, you're 100%
Bring
right.
the spirits in the room.
Nah.
Sorry, spirit.
We are at Comic-Con. Everyone here collects something. Is there anything that you guys collect?
Makeup.
Hearts and souls of men. My husband would hate to hear that.
Hearts and souls of all the boys.
Do you have any movie or TV show props?
Yes.
Yeah.
I take stuff
did you,
from-
I was going to say, did you borrow anything from set?
No, they're generous.
They are generous in letting you have them. There were these like aviator sunglasses that Jess and I borrowed from a scene in Chinatown, and then for the rest of the season, we just kept pulling them out at inopportune times. So she's like crying on set, and then on screen, and then I'm like, "But how do you feel now?"
That's great.
I always steal the Uggs. I don't know.
Really?
I feel weird about buying Uggs. I always just steal the Uggs.
Now I know what I can do. I never steal the Uggs.
Oh,
Sorry,
track of the
Stephanie.
Uggs. Yes.
I'm getting the Uggs now.
Stephanie, you know I took 2 pairs of Uggs.
what TV show have you watched all the way through more than once?
The Wire.
Ooh, damn! You should be married to my husband because
Oh my God, really?
that is his favorite show, and I can't get through it.
Really?
I know. TV series that I've watched all the way through twice. I'm a lighthearted Jane the Virgin kind of a gal. Love that damn show.
Okay.
I could watch Love Island again,
Of course you could.
if it counts.
I understand. Absolutely. What movie have
And
you
the
watched?
Cosby Show. What am I talking
Yeah,
about?
Natural
I've watched
Friends.
every episode.
What movie have you seen the most? Have you seen anything more than 10 times?
16 Candles.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Oh.
Wait, which one?
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Okay.
Yep.
Have you seen anything more than like 50 times?
How to Lose a Guy in 10
16 Candles.
What's the background photo on your phone?
Oh,
Uh,
my husband and me at a 4th of July party when we were young and in love.
Oh.
We're still in love. We're just not as
Sometimes.
young.
Sometimes.
as we used to be.
Mine is the Napoleon in Paris, the statue of Napoleon in Paris.
Oh,
That tells a lot about her personality.
right. I was going to
Does
say.
it?
I was going to say. One of the
I want to be taller.
one of the other questions is, what would people be surprised to learn about you?
Well, that'd be telling, wouldn't it, mate?
I think people, when they meet me, they think I'm really sweet and.
Yeah, I was about to say that we're nice.
Right. And they think like, oh, don't say a curse word around Simone. And I'm like, I can't curse now, I don't think. Oh,
You
Collider.
yeah, you probably can.
Damn it. I joke.
Same, yeah, that's sweet. But that's what we're breaking, I guess, is
Yeah.
the image that women are sweet.
On that note, I'm going to say I cannot wait to see the season. Sorry, I've seen season 1. I cannot wait to see season 2. Thank you so much for coming into our little Comic-Con
us in
studio.
bed.
Cute. Yep.
Bye.